benefits of MSME.
Yes, this is the one.
Okay.
Amita, continue.
Yes, I have completed this electricity bill part. Now, if I go to the next point, it is time-bound resolution dispute with the buyer through conciliation and arbitration. Now, if we go through this, like I'll take down to you to the MSME Samadhaan portal also, like what are the benefits. But in this thing, while doing your MSME registration, if you are registered and you have certain complaints against your consumer since they are not paying you the invoice, then there's this arbitration and conciliation proceeding which will go ahead. And there's a time bound process, like it is around 90 days it could take you. Like 90 days is a limitation period. Like in 90 days you have to complete the said process, whether it is a department or it is on the part of the other authority. So it is a time bound process. So I feel that this is a benefit on the part of the supplier as well as the manufacturer. Now the next point would be reimbursement of ISO certification expenses. Now if we go around this point, there are certain international standards organization code like 9000 or 1000 or 1400 which has to be specified. There are certain organizations or enterprises who has to get registered under this thing. So if I see in that basis, so there is reimbursement provided by the government if you're MSME registered. In that case, MSME registration is compulsory. Since this ISO certification expenses, the entire expenses that has been incurred for ISO certification, but the one-time payment, only the one-time payment cost or the expenses borne shall be borne by the department itself, the government department. So for this also you have to make an application stating that the application shall be made to the ISO organization or the authority so that you get a concession for this. Okay. Now we can go to the next slide on that basis. Now, the gist, like major topic which can be covered under here is MSME Samadhaan. This, if I introduce this topic to you here, if I can see, is that MSME Samadhaan portal is a portal which will help basically, which will help all the enterprises, all the aggrieved suppliers as well as manufacturers who provide a particular type of goods and services to their consumers, and they don't pay off your bill in a particular time. So this is MSME Samadhan, which will help you out to do all the type of recovery. Okay. So now MSME Samadhan portal was basically launched on 30th October 2017, but this was not into the picture since it like no one was so bothered or keen to know that how you can recover your amount which is still pending. So here the micro and small enterprises can file the application against the defaulting customers in a very easy manner. Application to be filed with micro and small enterprises felicitation council. So if I talk about this council is given every state wise, like every state has this MSME council which looks after the recovery. Like if you are based on Mumbai, so there is there are lot of councils that are sitting in central, western and the southern and the northern part of Mumbai, so that you can go in and lodge your complaint. Now you have two ways to lodge the complaint. That would be the online process as well as offline process. So now I'll carry out all the process and I'll go take you through all the processes which can help you out, like what type of recovery you can do. Okay. Now this encourages MSME entrepreneurs to directly register their cases for delayed payment against, even you can file these complaints against the government department or public sector PSUs, wherein the state government and central government have their own shares. So there's no issue, like you can go into the website, you can just lodge their cases against them. But this will take down a lot of aspects into consideration, and it will ease out your process. Like there is a legal backing given to the basic manufacturers and suppliers who are aggrieved due to lack of payment done to them. So it will basically promote the MSME sectors, and for that we can just move to the next slide. Features, like now I can let you know what are the features of MSME Samadhaan portal. This portal basically enables you to register the case against the delayed payment beyond 45 days from the PSUs and government agencies. It also facilitates monitoring of delayed payment in an efficient manner. Like if there is a delayed payment that has been done, and you register your case into the portal, so it is very easy portal and it is very open portal. Basically you can review your cases, you can also see what are the replies and what are the actions that has been taken by the government and the MSME sectors to protect you, and whether the payment is delayed and what all actions has been taken in a very smooth manner. Now the information on the portal is made available in a public domain. As I said, if you go to the MSME Samadhaan portal, it's a very public portal. It's easy to enter into, and you can tackle many easier processes through that. You can go ahead and you can recover your payment. Now, the MSME is empowered to access the MSME departments. Basically, the council has empowered this portal, and they can also monitor the cases into a timely manner. So, these cases would be reviewed, would be checked, and would be analyzed by the council, and the updates of the same shall be given to the both the parties, since the supplier and the manufacturer would be considered to be the first party, like who wants recovery of their funds, and the next party, that is the respondent, would be your consumer or the customer whom you have provided your bills, and everyone, both the parties would be well informed, and what is the status of the case would be everything would be provided in this MSME portal. So it's a very efficient portal, and a lot of MSME sectors are going in and are registering their cases. But for this, every important part is you should get registered under MSME, and you should also take down all these benefits which I have mentioned before. So it would be easier for you all to like take down these cases, and you can also go through the council what are the decisions which are going in. So it's a very good portal, so it is very easier for you. Now, Mehul, can you just do the next slide? Okay. Now, if I say here, here the buyers are liable to pay compound interest on monthly basis to the supplier at a rate which has been prescribed and notified by the RBI. So, as everyone is well versed, there is a change of rates in the RBI sector, the interest rates. So, this basic MSME Samadhan portal provides you that if the payment is delayed for more than 45 days, then there would be a compound interest which would be charged on a monthly basis, which would be a very higher side. The interest liable on the customer would be very higher side, and it could be at a rate 3 times at the rate which is notified by the RBI. Now, basically, if I talk about the government departments, like how the council works, so it depends from state to state and the union territories. They have this authority, which basically authority for filing the entrepreneur memorandum. So there are certain regional directors of the MSME who will go in, who will form a committee. There are rules of council as they will work out what are the procedures. So in the next slide, I will also take down to the procedures, how the cases are filed or how the awards are also taken into consideration. So they work into a certain purview. Like here, the MSME departments are not concerned about more, but the council, felicitation council, would take down the decisions, and the decisions would be final. Like since it is taken down as arbitration and council conciliation act, so this decision would be done mutually. Now, if I go ahead, is decision on the application is mandatory to be done within 90 days. As I told, it is time bound process. The council provides you a time bound. If it is a 90, you have to complete it in 90 days. And if it is not completed, and also the aggrieved party has not received his payment beyond 90 days, then there is no prescribed steps, but you can go offline and you can also consult to the respective council and the officers. You can meet them and also take down the status. Since they have given a time as per the MSME Act, they have provided a time bound that is of 90 days, which is considered to be a very important section there. Okay. So it is a very good benefit that the process is time bound. Like it is not like it is the process is going on and you are not getting any status or update on that. So it is a time bound process, that is 90 days would be taken. And in case, like as I told, the decision of the council is considered to be final in this case. So, but there are some parties who are aggrieved and who want to appeal against against the case. Then, in that case, if the respondent, the consumer, like who he has paid and he is aggrieved, he feels he is aggrieved party and he is not happy with the decision. In that case, if he wants to appeal, then it is mandatory for him to provide 75% of the amount before the appeal is admitted. If the 75% of the amount is deposited and it is provided to the supplier and manufacturer, since the decision was already given and you are filing an appeal, then it's compulsory that 75% of the amount must be deposited before the appeal is admitted. If it is not deposited, then as per the council, the case is the case is not appealable itself, and the appeal would be rejected on the grounds that as the act is providing that 75% of the said award amount has to be paid down. Okay, so can I just, Mehul, can you just show the next slide? Okay. Now, the tenure of compensation, like what type of compensation would be provided by the council, is firstly, you'll get a full payment of the due amount, like whatever outstanding bills are there, you'll get the entire amount. Along with that, the appropriate interest would be also charged by the council. That interest is also a plus point. So you are aggrieved since the payment is not done to you. So there's a plus point that this payment would be easier. Okay. So you'll get a full payment of the due amount as well as the appropriate interest. So that would be a very good plus point, that whatever compensation is provided is a very good part. Now, if you can see is who can apply for this MSME Udyam registration. Is you can file an application against this buyer, purchaser of goods and services before the council. Like I already showed and informed to you that there's a council which is sitting for particular state and union territory, which will look into these cases. But for that, it is mandatory for you all to have a Udyog Aadhaar memorandum. That is a basic certificate wherein you have a unique identification number which segregates you as a micro, small, and a medium enterprise. So that is important, like while filing your application. Now, this application shall be viewed by the council, including the concerned central ministers, department, and PSUs, as well as state governments. So the council would take into consideration all the companies or all the departments of the government, so that it would be easier for them to analyze the case and also look into the amount which is payable and what are the penalties that can be levied on the respondent or the consumer who has kept the amount pending. Next slide. Okay. Now, in this Samadhaan portal, if you see, there are these basic documents that has been required. Like, since I told that it's very easier to get registered, and you can also lodge a complaint for the delayed payments or the recovery of your payments in MSME Samadhaan portal. So the documents, basic documents required is your purchase or work orders and the corresponding invoices. Okay. So this will go simultaneously. Now, if you go to the portal, then you will see that there is only a slot of 5 purchase orders and invoices. Like what they have shown is one purchase order, work order, corresponding to that the invoice raised. So only 5 you can put, but they have brought in a very good technology that you can compile all your invoices and also combine all your purchase orders together, and you can put a compiled Excel sheet of that, and you can claim your outstanding. So it's very easy. You should have all your KYC documents of the consumer or the customer to whom the bill is raised. Okay, their PAN details, their GST details, and this purchase order and invoice should be handy while you're doing this, while you're filing an application for the said registration. Okay. Now I'll show you basically what is a basic procedure, like how does this entity works basically. So I would like next would be, now if I, this is a basic concern. Now I'll just go through, like I'll tell you what all once this application is filed. Basically, while filing the application, it's necessary for you to have a Udyam Aadhaar memorandum, that is your certificate registration number, which is compulsory. Okay. Now you should have ready your basic KYC details of your respondent. That is your customer. That would be your email ID, mobile number. If the payment is not made, okay. So now, if I help you, like what are the stringent measures that if the recovery is not done? So it's very important that GSTIN of your manufacturer or of your consumer would be blocked if the further payment after the reward is not made. Okay. Now, how you will file an application? Once the application is filed, like you will do all the things, you will do uploading of your work orders, challans, and invoices. The application would be filed, and there would be a notice that would be immediately mailed. Once you file the amount, immediately the notice shall be mailed to the respondent, wherein the council shall direct the respondent to make the payment of due amount with a further 15 days. So now if you see, we have already delayed payment of 45 days. After doing away with this 45 days, you file an application under MSME Samadhaan portal. So this application would be filed in front of respective council, wherein the council, what it will do is, it will give a further period of 15 days to the respondent, that he has to pay the amount that is due along with the interest. So further period of 15 days is provided, and it is also a warning. The application will also provide a warning saying that the application, if the application is money, the amount of interest and the outstanding amount is not paid in further 15 days, then the said application would be converted into case. Now this depends from state to state. Now understand that you don't have this online thing. So what you can do is, along with your work orders, your challans, and your invoices, you can make a file. You can also affix your certificate of MSME, and you can go to a respective council, and you can also do the offline application for this. Now, how this council will work on it, it will give a further 15 days, and if in 15 days the respondent doesn't come up, and he does not pay the amount along with the interest and the amount that is paid, then it would be difficult for them. So what the council will do is, it will convert the application into an arbitration and conciliation case, and it would directly convert it into case, and the intimation of the same shall be made to the respondent as well as petitioner, since the case has been filed by the petitioner, by paying certain court fees or the fees that is charged, which depends from state to state. Now, if you see in a state of Maharashtra, majorly it is rupees 3,500, but it will depend, it will vary from state to state, like once it is converted into an case. Okay. So now what council will do is, council will call both the parties in front of them, and there would be an arbitrator who would be appointed, so that there is a settlement of case. Okay. And this arbitration decision would be done mutually. Now, if it is sorted out mutually, then it's well and good. The amount as well as interest shall be charged to the respondent, and it has to be further paid. Okay. But if it is not resolved mutually, then the petition goes to the arbitrators, wherein arbitrators will hear both the parties and will pass an award. Okay, so there is both way that would be open. Okay, so if it is not resolved mutually, then the arbitrator will listen to both the parties and shall pass an award. Then, if the award is, in this case, if the award is, there are cases like sometimes while arbitrator is going through the cases, so he can reject the application on the grounds that the purchase order or the invoices are not correctly provided. So it can be rejected into that phase, and it is very difficult for the petitioner. But if it is in the favor of the petitioner, that is a manufacturer and the aggrieved party, the supplier of the goods and services, in that case, it is a very good plus point. Then he can claim the interest at the rate of 3 times of the bank rate. There would be claiming of compensation that has been compensation that has to be provided, and the damages. Even he can claim for the damages that has been caused to for his goodwill or anything. What all charges he can ask, and he can mention this in his prayers, so that the prayers are accepted, and also the he can claim those amounts. So it is a very good recovery mechanism for each one of us. Once the award is passed, in this case, still the respondent doesn't pay the due to the petitioner. There are certain cases where the respondents are very stringent about their payment policy, and they still don't pay the petitioner, even if the award is passed by the arbitrator under the Arbitration and Conciliation Act. But even if they still don't file it, then the petitioner has a opportunity to go in for the execution. But these are extreme cases, like execution process are going on, or you can file a case with NCLT against the said party. Okay, so in this case, like if we go ahead with this party, so there are, in the gist of these things, I have provided this flow chart, which is there in the presentation. Like basically, I have given you a gist on saying that how the case is going chance by chance. Like what are the steps which you can follow while you're recovering these things. So firstly, council can take action after 15 days of application. Okay. There would be both entrepreneur and respondent shall be informed by email as well as SMS facility. There can be mutual opinion of MSME before the same is converted into case. Okay, council can approve the application and convert it into case. And even there are chances that council can reject the application. Use the next slide. Okay. Intimation of conversion of application into case to entrepreneurs and respondents will be provided through SMS and emails. So this application, once it's converted into a case under arbitration and conciliation, would be intimated to both the parties. So this system is a very good system. Now, if as I previously mentioned, the application has to be filed offline. If there are cases that you apply in an offline process, the details of the said case shall be entered into on the offline process, and the details of the same shall be provided in the portal by the council himself, and the status of the case, the hearing dates of the case shall be updated as per the requirements. Okay. Now the entrepreneur can also view the application, the case status, and they can also go through like what all types of decision is passed, what is the status, whether it's pending, whether it is considered. So you can like anytime you can have a check. So it is a good public domain wherein you can go ahead and you can stick to major decision of yours. Like all in conclusion, I would state like I have majorly covered all the aspects of MSME, the benefits you can go ahead, and also MSME Samadhaan. I have explained aspects like how you can recover your outstanding dues. Like majorly all startup or MSMEs are stressed about the payments because they don't have funds to carry out major business. Also due to this pandemic, it's very important that you have your cash flows ready. So it's very good type of initiative that the government has taken so that you can have your recovery done. So I suppose I have like tried to cover all the aspects here. and I really obliged that there was a lot of technical glitches that was going on during the session. So I would like if there is any questions from your end, so you can just unmute yourself and you can just take down, and I am there to solve your queries. So even I can take views of Amit sir, like even if he wants to add on something here.
Fine. Any questions from anybody? I think I'm using chat box to answer the queries. There are a couple of them which have come.
Yes, sir.
Deepak Pasad is writing. Just one sec. In one of our cases, customer clearly asked us to give in writing claim, then they will process it. As of now, we don't have any other option, but we have given the claim letter. Once we get 40% claim, can we opt for MSME Samadhaan? No, Deepak, I am sorry, you cannot claim this. Once you have agreed for 40% and based on that they have given the payment, I don't think this would be available to you.
Okay, but that claim was by force. They
No,
have
no,
mailed us.
you have not given that in writing, no, that it is by force. You agreed it the way they have presented
We
it
have
to
agreed
you.
via
You
mail.
have
Say
agreed.
we are
So
submitting this
then you
40%.
won't be able to do that.
Okay.
Presentation, yes, it can be shared. There is no issue with that. Question and answer should be known to all. Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I have one question
Yeah.
regarding this electricity bill concession.
Hmm.
So,
Okay.
how concession they will give? We will get concession in unit rate price of the electricity or electricity duty.
So
Yes.
your
Yeah.
electricity unit would be the same, since the unit would be the unit which is already calculated as per the usage of your electricity. But I
Okay.
suppose the duty which is charged on your electricity bill would
Hmm.
be at a concessional rates. So
So,
you have to give an application to your board, electricity supplier, stating
how-
that you are MSME registered. So depending on their criteria, they'll give certain type of percentage of concession duty to you.
because I have observed on different electricity bill, different duty rate is charged. On certain
Hmm.
bills, I have observed 12%, on certain 9%, somewhere 18%. So
Yes, sir.
this electricity duty is not standard.
So it's not standard, but I can prefer that if you give, like that's what, if you are MSME registered, then you have a special treatment in that case, sir. Because
Oh,
unit cannot be concession, no, sir, because
no,
the unit
I
are the
mean to
unit
say unit
pricing.
rate. I mean to say
Yes.
concession in unit rate.
I don't feel the unit rate, but it would be the duty concessional which they'll give you in that
Okay,
case. Yes,
okay,
sir.
okay, okay. Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yeah.
I am Sunil Jain from Mumbai. Can I put a question, please?
Yes, sir. Sure.
For a unit doing job work and a
Yeah.
case registered is rejected on
Yeah.
pretext that work order is not in order, purchase order is
Yeah.
not in order.
Yes, sir.
What's the solution? The unit has a work order, proper work order, but the purchase order word is not mentioned, or neither the work order is mentioned. It is mentioned a cut challan, but it is proper order format with a sign and stamps and all that. But it is
Okay, sir.
rejected.
Okay, sir. I
So
understood
is
your
there a
question.
procedure to take it ahead even after rejection? How to explain them or how to convince them?
Okay, sir. In that case, if you're stating like if you don't have a work order or a purchase order corresponding to your invoices, if there
No,
is
we
okay,
have, but
okay,
the heading of that document is changed. It is mentioned as a cut challan. So we are
okay,
in the
sir.
garment, it is given as a cutting challan, but it has a price confirmation of job work, everything is there.
Okay, sir. So in that case, what you do, like if you see the MSME Samadhaan portal, and so in that case, you have to provide an affidavit. Proper affidavit should be provided that this is true to their knowledge, because what they want is a proper purchase order or a work order. So if you
Okay.
give a supporting affidavit to it that it is true to your knowledge, then it would be a better one. Okay, then
Oh.
it would not be rejected in that case.
Uh,
And secondly, if your
Yeah.
case has got rejected, then they have provided you the reason that you have a cut challan or something. So it's a better idea that you have to support it with an affidavit and then upload your work order or the cut challan along with your affidavit and a supporting invoice. Then practically they'll take down your case and there's no problem of rejections, because in case of rejection of your case, you have to reapply to the MSME Samadhan portal in that case, because in case of rejection, there's no other solution, sir. So I would
But
prefer that you provide a supporting affidavit to your cut challan and then upload your supportings.
so you mean to say another case is to be registered in any way
Yes, sir,
along with
it's
the affidavit and
compulsory.
the challan.
Yes, sir, because it's rejected and there's no appeal system in your first place. The
Okay.
appeal could be done only in the latter stage, sir.
Later stage means
Latter stage means if your respondent, you have filed a case and the respondent has almost like he has deposited to you certain amount of 75%. Now your application is rejected in a first stage only, sir, since they
Mhm.
have told you that your documents are only not correct. So in
Mhm.
that case, you have to make a reapplication to the MSME Samadhan portal along with a supporting affidavit. So I
And this
think
affidavit is in a plain terms that
no,
this is
yes,
a
sir.
work order and it is best to our knowledge. That much
Yes.
only? Or is there any format for it?
Yes, no, sir. You should only mention that it's true to your knowledge and every, like as you mentioned, and it should be affirmed, like you pay a stamp duty and there's notary on it. So it is good to the belief of the government that whatever the document you have provided is full and final. So that would be a better supporting to it. There's no specific format, but you only have to show whatever you have provided is true to your knowledge.
And it has to come on a stamp paper, say 100
Yes,
rupees.
sir.
Am I right?
Obviously, it has to be on a stamp paper and it has to be notarized. Normal affidavit.
Last question, how to submit that document, because there is a provision of invoice, purchase order, to two documents to be there. Now, how to
So you
edit
can
there?
compile it, no? While you're creating a PDF, you can compile all the documents because, sir, like if I give you an example, in MSME Samadhan portal, if you see, there is only slot for 5. You can
Yeah,
only give 5 invoices, right?
yeah,
But
correct.
if you have more than 5 invoices against that respondent, then you have to compile those. Like
Okay,
like you have 10 work orders, okay, so 5 you're giving, 5 you have to compile together, like it will go your affidavit and behind that you have cut challan and the next
Hmm.
slot is your invoice. So it's
Okay,
easier, sir, you can do in the proper manner
okay.
compiling of the documents.
Thanks a
Yes,
lot. Thanks a lot.
yeah, that's okay, sir.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Amita, there are a few couple of questions in chat box. Can you please see that?
Okay, sir. Unit, this is answered. Kamal sir, what amount of benefit?
I think
Kamal,
no. Last few questions only. All others I have answered.
okay, can you compile interest calculation along with invoices?
Right.
This question is asked by Shreya Gandhi. Ma'am, in this case, what I can say is the interest calculation and the part of these things would be done by the council. So it is not our responsibility to do that. We only have to provide them our work orders and the corresponding invoices. So entire interest calculation would be provided in the notice, which would be provided to the party, the first party petitioners, as well as the respondent. So that is a better thing. Like we don't have to calculate the interest, but the council, on their behalf, the government authority will provide us with this interest calculation.
Shreya is also asking for
Yes.
the address of county council or how to contact the council.
Yes, Shreya ma'am, on this MSME Samadhaan portal, you have a contact us tab. Like in Mumbai, if you see, they have 4 registered office here. One is in Chembur, two is in our Mumbai, our 4th offices. So they have those offices and entire detailing their address, their email ID, help desk number is provided directly to you on the MSME Samadhaan portal. So it's easier for you to like go into the portal and get yourself well versed with the offices and their help desk numbers. I think Shreya ma'am has also asked, the application is made on MSME Samadhan and 15 days is passed and no action taken, then how to contact the council for future clarification? As I previously mentioned, that you can just get into the website and in the home page you have your contact us slot there. So it's easier for you to get to know where you can go and contact them. There's basically 3 offices, that is 2 in Fort and 1 in Chembur. So it would be easier for you to like claim, since it's not answered, the thing is not answered within 15 days, so it should be converted into a case, but you have to respectively visit the council, and you also have to pay for a prescribed fees that would be applicable while filing this application, because this application is getting converted into case since 15 days has been passed. Okay, Shivani Pednekar ma'am has also posted a query. I think it is the same thing, like how to claim interest under MSME Samadhan portal on behalf of the petitioner. So if you say once you lodge the complaint and you provide your work orders and invoices, you upload the same on the portal, the respective charges and respective interest would be decided by the council, and the same would be mentioned in the notice that has been mailed to the respondent as well as petitioner. Okay. Okay. Sunil sir has answered. Amit sir.
I think all others have been answered.
All others.
I think there are no more questions from any of the participants. So I thank all the participants and especially Amita, you for taking us through all the provisions of the Act, and I think you solved a lot of questions that were there in the mind of people, and thank you very much for all the effort that you put in. Thank you. Thank you all the participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amit sir, and thank you, participants. And also, I apologize for the technical glitches which you have to face. Thank you for all the time provided by you all. I hope that all the queries are sorted out. And if in case there are further queries like you want to ask, you can just leave an email at amita@apmh.in. Which would be easier, and I would be available for to solve any queries with regards to MSME registration as well as MSME outstanding recovery. So thank you all, thank you IT team, and thank you Amit sir and all the participants for keen and being patient to listen to all the provisions. Okay, thank you so much.